it's hard to look at anything against the Giants team and be like they fixed anything. I think the Chiefs are basically in survival mode right now, and they just have to wait until they get their pieces back, hopefully, at some point, eventually, maybe 3 years from now.
Amateur Hour Chiefs Podcast. Amateur Hour Chiefs Podcast. Amateur Hour Podcast on KC Sports Network. Amateur on KC Sports Network. Hour on KC Sports Network. Podcast on KC Sports Net. We're gonna talk Chiefs football for you, and you, and you, and you.
What is this, amateur hour?
Yeah, I ain't no Superman businessman like you. You know, I'm just an
amateur,
I suppose.
Amateur hour
Is what's happening.
Amateur hour
Is what's happening.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank. If you're thinking about starting a business or know someone who is, check out Emprise Bank's SBA loans. It's always good to know your options, and they can be your partner in possible.
Yeah, that's right, folks. The show is called Amateur Hour. I'm Ryan Scott Hall. I'm still doing research as this show begins. It's been one of those weeks. And joining me today, a goofball and a hat and a red shirt. Oh, he takes off the shirt. He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. He's bare-chested and banging his chest, and now he's running the opposite way. He's at the 50 again. He's at the 40. This guy is drunk, but there he goes. It's his Dirkness.
So, how'd you know how I celebrated my birthday? That was the exact play by play, as the birthday was winding down, and I was trying to get into bed.
I should have looked at your shirt instead of having to look at the Kevin Harlan script, but I just thought, honestly, every time that I think of Kevin Harlan, or honestly, not every time I think of his Dirkness, but many times I think of his Dirkness, I think this guy is drunk. There he goes. It's just such a great line. Thank you for that, Kevin Harlan. And thank you to the Kansas City Chiefs for winning a football game. Finally, that felt good.
Welcome to the season.
Yeah, right. They finally woke up. Dirk,
so
thinking about this game. What's your big, I don't know, thing?
A big thing?
Yeah, what's your big thing?
My big thing. Dirk's big thing. My top takeaway, my top thought, my big thing. With a game like that, you're almost kind of immediately on to Baltimore, right? And last night, as I'm watching Baltimore, my mind flashes back to 2004. Chiefs facing a must-winners Baltimore, a very memorable game if you were around back then. Chiefs coming off a 13-3 season in 2003. Start the season with losses to Denver and Carolina, two good teams. Third game of the season, they play the lowly Texans at home. They're in complete control, about to go up 21-6 late in the third quarter. Trent Green makes a bad mistake, short arms a throw. It gets picked off and returned for a touchdown. The Chiefs don't recover, lose, and start the season 0-3. They go to Baltimore the next week, and obviously a must-win at 0-3. Who Baltimore was rough, and it's kind of a famous game if you're a Chiefs fan around back then. You know, Ray Lewis just getting owned over and over by Will Shields and Brian Waters and Tony Richardson's, as he's claiming that he's just getting double teamed when none of the highlights show that. And it's just like we had to fight as hard as we possibly could to win that game. We gave up a punt return touchdown, a flea flicker touchdown. It was just like, what do we have to overcome to win this game? But it was just kind of reminiscent of this 2025 Chiefs team, who also is coming off a tough 0-2 start to two good teams. But you just got to right their ship. Easy game in week 3, Ravens in week 4. And this Giants game was super ugly. And for a while late in that second quarter, man, we were teetering on the idea of this Chiefs season being over, or at least facing a must-win game against the Ravens this upcoming week. But there is no worse feeling in your season being over early in the year, man. Playing out 12 to 15 more weeks of meaningless football. We haven't felt that way in a long time, since probably 2015, which we actually turned around, or back into the, dark days, dark years. But it was just a reminder to myself of how slim the margins are in the NFL, how quickly things can turn. And I'm just thankful for the plays that were made in those moments to keep the season alive, because things were getting real ugly. The Giants had tied it up 6-6. There was a roughing the passer penalty, a few other Chiefs penalties. The wheels were kind of falling off. We get Mahomes throwing the ball backwards towards Isaiah Pacheco. This is at 6-6. If the Giants scoop that up and score a touchdown, man, it's panic time. And the pressure is on. Like, you have to come back in the second half, and you are not playing good football right now. So Mahomes making that play, where I go from, man, what is Mahomes doing throwing the ball backwards again, to, later on realizing, okay, why is Pacheco running backwards and looking the wrong way? And what an incredible play by Mahomes to get the ball back. Further on the Chiefs punt, you have Jalen Watson, interception in the end zone. He's in a one-on-one situation with Malik Neighbors. We never see Chiefs defensive backs make a play on the ball. That's just a tough spot that we've seen the Chiefs lose lots of times. He comes up with a huge interception. Next drive, Mahomes escapes Abdul Carter, who has him almost dead to rights. Mahomes does his just quick enough, just quicker than the defender kind of thing, escapes him, heaves it downfield, gets the huge PI call. And then we just kick a field goal, get the halftime with the lead, take a deep breath. And like that, the Super Bowl hangover was lifted. At halftime, in week 3, in the Meadowlands against the lowly Giants.
I mean, the first half made me want to get flashy thinged by the Men in Black. Like, I mean, it was pretty rough in a number of moments. And I do recall kind of staring at the screen in disbelief and just kind of thinking, like, is this really what this season is going to be like? Like we're tied with this Giants team. We can't finish a freaking drive. Like they just, everything just looks so hard, particularly on offense. And like, we're playing a close game with a like genuinely inferior team. And this is like when we're begging for signs of life, because we started 0-2, and like this is the easy game. This is the get right game. It's obvious. And this is where we are, like, but coming into halftime, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. My friend Bill tweeted that was our best half of the season. And I thought, honestly, I thought about it and I was like, is he right? And he wasn't right, because the second half against the Chargers, they were dynamite on offense. They were
on offense, but I mean, they didn't even get a stop.
They didn't stop. They did not get the stop that they needed and whatnot. But like, they gained all the yards except for 5 of them or whatever in that second half. So I don't know if I could give the Chiefs first half against the Giants the best half of their 5 halves to that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was an argument to be made that it was the best half of football that they'd played at 9-6. And hey, they, like, you even tweeted, like, a real life football turnover was forced, and so like there were a couple signs, but it was tough out there, man. The second half, after you're saying that they woke up from their Super Bowl hangover lasting 2.5 games, I don't know, man. The second half, and this is also, I guess, now combined, what I had in my notes was like, we'll see how Monday night goes, but between what I saw from the Chiefs in the second half against the Giants and what I saw from the Ravens last night, I kind of think that the Chiefs should be favored I'm not sure what the line is. It sounded like they were underdogs again, right?
They are definitely underdogs. I think it's 2.5 right now. But I mean, the question is, we talked last week about how we were not confident going into that Eagles game for one of the very few times of the Mahomes era going into a football game and not feeling confident. So I guess that's the question, is if you're back to feeling confident with this Chiefs team facing a huge game for both teams on Sunday against the Ravens.
I am a bad person to ask. And it's largely about my feelings for the Ravens, because I mean, look, I didn't watch, I wasn't living and dying with every snap of that game last night. So something crazy could have happened that led to what the result was. But ultimately it felt like, in the casual viewing that I did, that in many ways they kind of got bullied a little bit. And Derrick Henry with another very uncharacteristic, but at this point, I guess maybe characteristic, because it's happened twice this year, another big fumble. But I don't know, man, there's something about the Ravens that, like, they are, to me, at best, regular season champs. They've only been to one AFC championship game. And to me, I felt like they got smoked. It wasn't this giant margin of victory, but they looked so unprepared and unqualified to be there in that game. They've got no Super Bowl appearances. They've got really nothing other than Lamar's MVP trophies. And I just think that they are a mentally weak football team. When things get stressful for them, they seem to play their worst. And so maybe in this week 4 game, because there is no real stress, there's stakes because there's 2 1-2 teams. So like maybe you'll get the Ravens' best shot, but they don't scare me the way that they scare maybe any other fan base in the league, because it seems like they can't do it when it matters against this football team.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of saw that show up last night. I mean, Lamar had really good numbers, but wasn't at his best. Took 7 sacks, a lot of those on him. Didn't look as quick as he normally does. There was kind of some talk if he was, a little banged up kind of thing, but he couldn't escape rushers that you were used to seeing him beat. But the Ravens are just scary. I mean, they have talent all over the field. I mean, they have studs all over the field. Like
they auto draft every year, right?
Yeah, well, it works. I mean, they should be better than their record has been. I know they were the 1 seed in 2023, but last year I think they underachieved for how much talent's on that team. Like, they should just have Lamar has these great stats, and he's been MVP either 1 or 2 the last 2 years. They have Derrick Henry, who's the best running back of this generation, and then somehow still going at this age. So it's like the number 1 running back and like maybe the number 1 quarterback. They have talent all over the defense. Kyle Hamilton, their corners are good. They should just all right. Here's our favorite phrase: the sum of their parts is less than the whole. No, it's greater than the whole, right? The sum of their parts is greater than the whole.
Yeah. Yes.
Because they underachieve.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Yeah. But it just feels like they should be better. Like, you think of that 2023 team, they were a top 3 defense in the NFL. They were a top 3 offense in the NFL. There's they don't really have a weakness, and yet we went in there and bullied them around in that game and kind of pushed them around. So you'll always kind of have those questions about the Ravens, but if they played to their potential, then they have the opportunity to smoke any team in the NFL, including the Chiefs. Like, if they turn it on, they have that ability, just because I think they have that much talent on their team. I'm not saying that's going to happen by any means, but I do think they have that potential.
What's really interesting is that, like, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but like, it's all a Patrick Mahomes point. Like, it just keeps coming back to Patrick, because the Ravens, like, as you mentioned, like the 2023 Ravens, when you were talking about like they're top 3 offense or top 3 defense, the Ravens and the Bills over the past 5 years have had all of these high watermarks and DVOA numbers where they're talking about like, these are some of the most highly rated regular season football teams ever, period. All of the NFL history. And neither of them have anything to show for it, because they run into Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. And don't get me wrong, they might run into another team here or there, including once each other, right? Didn't Buffalo beat Baltimore, or Baltimore beat Buffalo in the playoffs? Maybe, I don't know. At either way, at any rate, I do find it interesting that both of these teams seem to have very, very, very dominant runs, but for whatever reason, you can't seem to trust them. And I don't know what that amounts to as far as this game coming up next week, but go ahead.
Both the what teams? The Bills and Ravens,
Both
or
the Bills and the Ravens. I didn't want everybody to think we're talking about the Ravens because the Ravens played on Monday night and we're playing them on Sunday. But I don't want the Bills to get lost in this because they, like the Ravens, they are technically overachievers in the regular season, but they're not doing what they need to do in the playoffs.
Well, and that's why this is a great litmus test for like this Chiefs team, because as long as we are like even with the Ravens and Bills, I still think like we have the edge going into January. We're all going to feel confident. We have this big brother hold over both of them. All the pressure is going to be on both of those teams as long as we're close. However, if there's, this world where the Chiefs continue to play it like this ugly kind of style of football and don't reach that peak, and, this dominance over the Ravens and Bills might end in like a big way. Like it might not be a close loss just because the pressure is so much in these situations, as you see over and over in these Chiefs and Bills games where, okay, Josh Allen, here's your chance, but the pressure is just too much on these last drives and he can't come through. Like it might be like a blowout that finally, separates us between those two teams. They might have to be way better than us to finally get over that hump of beating the Chiefs team. So Sunday will be a great test to see like, okay, are we still in this same stratosphere, or is it like a lot of NFL analysts probably see? If you ask like a lot of national analysts like about the AFC even throughout last season, they're going to tell you the Bills and Ravens are on a different level than the Chiefs team. Chiefs fans don't believe this, and they think we're about even, and that we're going to go in and we're going to have the mental edge on them. A lot of people do not believe that, and so Sunday will be a great test to see where we stack up on that. Are we even? Are they way ahead, or even the Chiefs like a little bit ahead of the Ravens right now?
I like it. Let's take a break.
What's up, guys? I'm BJ Kissel, founder and CEO of KC Sports Network, and I'm here to talk to Kansas City businesses. If you rely on technology, you need an IT support team that's not just another vendor, but a true IT partner. That's why I want to introduce you to my friend and neighbor, KJ Miller. He is a VCIO at ThrottleNet, the Midwest's highest rated and most reviewed IT support company. They've been in business for more than 25 years, helping companies stay secure, productive, and ahead of the curve. They aren't just IT support, but they provide data security, IT strategy, and cloud software services. They do it all, and their reviews show they do it better than anyone else. So if you want to hear about how ThrottleNet can help your local business, join the conversation with myself, KJ Miller from ThrottleNet, and our resident genius from KC Sports Network when it comes to IT, at least as he's affectionately known by us, Mr. Craig Stout. Click the link in the description to hear how ThrottleNet can help you.
All right. So Dirk, in the family chat, my Nana fired Andy Reid and Matt Nagy before the football game on Sunday. No. She's like, we need new people running the team, because everyone was kind of going through and complaining about the offense and this is going to be an ugly game and so on and so forth. And my Nana just comes in off the top rope and fired Andy and Matt Nagy.
She knew it was going to be that ugly.
I guess,
Reed.
Nanstradamus is what I want to start calling her now.
I think every single Chiefs fan out there thought this game was going to be ugly. I don't think anybody expected like Chiefs are going to put it on them like 41-10. I don't think a single Chiefs fan held that belief.
Yeah,
it was destined to be ugly.
I wanted to discuss the fact that the offense is just irritating. Like who isn't irritated by this Chiefs offense right now? I've been irritated watching the offense for the last season plus because, well, they're not very impressive, I guess, with all these injuries. I think though, as I have been trying to work through my irritation, which is usually like, this moment of reflection where I'm trying to put everything in perspective. Let's go to the 10,000 foot view. And I think it's easy to forget that Mahomes set basically the highest bar that you can for the position. So I think it's understandable that as Chiefs fans, that, you know, you might get a little bit bored or a little bit irritated when the offense doesn't look like that, because we've seen it look that way. And I think it's also good to remember, though, that when the offense looked like that, it was perfect. Like the greatest offense that anyone has ever seen. Like it's hard to imagine ever playing better football than that. So this irritating version of the Chiefs is actually a lot closer to just like normal, average offensive football instead of like the extremes that we have seen in Kansas City. Maybe see also mid would be an appropriate way to describe this offense. But I think some of that irritation goes back to, we discussed a little bit last week, that I think that the Chiefs are soft. I think that this is maybe a soft team on both sides of the ball. And on Sunday night in the Meadowlands, we can't run the ball against the worst unit in the league. Literally, the New York Giants allowing like 180 yards rushing per in the 2 weeks prior. And then defensively, we can't tackle Cam Scatabo to save our lives. And the Chiefs won and everything, but like they didn't do anything physically to change my opinion about them being soft. I guess running Patrick Mahomes only had like 5 rushing yards, so maybe that's an improvement. But I came out of this game still maybe feeling a little irritated and still thinking that the team is soft. Did they do anything on Sunday to like change your feelings about where they're at? Like, is all right in the world with the Chiefs since they won a game? Or are we still looking at a lot of the same problems and it was just a bad opponent?
No, I don't think they really fixed anything necessarily. They clean the first half. I didn't get like a soft vibe. It was more like they kept it was like penalties. It was like mistakes, and they just like kept getting in their own way kind of thing. That was what they really cleaned up from the first half to the second half. So I think that kind of turned the tide in this game. In terms of soft, I mean, when I'm looking at them running the ball, I felt like they finally changed it up and did some different things schematically. And they were able to find some success in that second half. That was refreshing to see. But in terms of soft, I don't think they turned anything around about being soft. The pass rush was a lot better, I guess. Things kind of turned a lot when Andrew Thomas went out of the game after he played his like 25 snaps or whatever. So that kind of helped there. But I don't, it's hard to look at anything against the Giants team and be like they fixed anything. I think the Chiefs are basically in survival mode right now, and they just have to wait until they get their pieces back, hopefully, at some point, eventually, maybe 3 years from now. But yeah, get to that point and just kind of be playing better in January. But you can't lose the season right now. So they avoided that. So that was good enough. Soft, I'd say it's still on the table. I'd say it's still on the table if that's what you're looking for.
Well, on last week's show, we entertained some pretty ugly possibilities, man. I mean, I said 3-7. More than once I said it. We were talking about the offense getting stale and predictable, the need for, new voices in the offensive room, somebody from the non-Andy tree, right? And then the very next night, 7 Minutes with Craig. Goodness gracious, if anybody heard Craig last week, a pretty displeased Craig Stout with Andy Reid and many of the solutions, for lack of a better word, that Andy's been trying to employ offensively. And then a really full-throated takedown from Nate Tice it seemed like, in certain circles of Chiefs fans, like awfully frustrated by the offense, regardless of personnel. That's kind of the vibe I felt going into that game. But you know what? I think we're back, baby. Dirk, I think we're back in a big, big way. His Dirkness.
Wait, we're soft and we're back?
They are a little soft, but
we're a soft back. It's a soft back.
Did you see that game on Sunday night? Did you see this offense, Dirk? Have you ever seen something so impressive? They scored 22 points. All 22. That's where the saying comes from that game on Sunday night. They scored 22 points. We are back, baby. Now, I see your skepticism. I hear your skepticism, Dirk. I think that we should maybe look at some of my takeaways from this game, some of my enthusiasm that I'm feeling about this Kansas City Chiefs team because, hey, we won a game. We won. All right. I think we should maybe put some of this stuff to the test with a little game.
Oh, a game.
And I want to call it 100% or 1,000,000%. Now, some of you guys may remember our friend Therese Paylor used to talk about how sometimes things are 100% and sometimes things are 1,000,000%. And it's kind of about like your conviction, and so Therese would do this. And so when he came on Amateur Hour way back when, we went through some categories with him and said, all right, Therese, you got to tell us, are you 100% or you 1,000,000%? And so we're going to kind of do that ourselves today with some things that I think coming out of that Chiefs Giants game.
Can we do this? Can we do the questions we asked Therese back in the day instead? Can we just rehash those?
I really wish I had those notes, but I can certainly go through one of my old laptops somewhere and
somebody go check the 2017 files of Amateur Hour. First off, you got to find them because we don't know where they are, but you got to find them and then listen to that show. I'm sure it was great.
Yeah, if you want to come over and go through my garage. All right. Talking point number 1 coming out of this game.
All right, let's do it. Is there a 0% or is it only 100 or 1,000,000?
It's 100% or 1,000,000%. These are your options. I mean, but look, it's one of Maddie answer and go with 0%. You can do what you got to do. That's fine.
All right, ready.
Look, Dirk, here's the top of the list for me.
Okay.
I think it's time to start Jalen Moore. How you feeling? 100% on that or 1,000,000% on that?
I am going to go 100%.
Okay.
Because I'm still, I said this last week. I said I would have benched him last week. So I am in favor. I would at least like to see it. I still have no idea what we have in Jawan Taylor because I see these damn charts. And his stats are good. He's right next to Trent Williams. He's right next to Deion Dawkins in these stats. I'm like, I know those are great tackles. So what am I missing? One thing they don't account for is him being a penalty machine. That does not show up in the specific chart that I was looking at. A quick update on that. Jawan Taylor is on pace for 40 penalties this year. That would be an all-time record. That is an verified stat, but you can just trust me on that. An all-time record, 40 penalties in a season. He got beat a few times on Sunday. It seems like when he gets beat immediately, and it's just like, it's painful to watch. Like, he had a few real bad snaps. Giants have a great pass rush, so, there is some leeway there. But I still have no idea what kind of player Jawan Taylor is when he's actually playing. I feel like he's not good, but I see stats that say he is good. There are some nerds that say he's good. But I am so frustrated every time that he commits a penalty. Like, I will take the pains of starting Jalen Moore just to avoid that specific frustration watching the Chiefs guy. I cannot take it. It's just like curse to the high heavens every time that he commits a penalty.
I don't know what to do with him, man. Like, the writing is on the wall that he is not going to be the starting right tackle for the Chiefs next season. But this is this year. And frankly, it's only week 4 of this year. We got like many months of football to go. And every year that he's played on this team, you've gone to the Super Bowl. And look, every year that James Winchester has played on this team, they've gone to the Super Bowl practically. He's played a lot more years. Obviously, I'm being facetious, but like, I don't want to say that because Jawan Taylor is on the team, we're going to the Super Bowl. That would be foolish. But he is a pretty adequate football player. I promise you that when the Chiefs release him, somebody else is going to give him a contract, and he's probably going to start for another team next year. Okay? Like he's not just straight up bad at football, but he does things his own way. Like he is more illegal in his procedures. He is more off in his sides. He's got way more flags, like all of it. He's in like his own category, right? He just plays the position differently. And I'm tired of it. I'm very tired of it. But I don't know, like if I'm 100% on this too, because I say like, who is Jalen Moore? Like Jawan Taylor has started more games every season of his career than Jalen Moore has started in his entire career combined. Like every season, Jawan Taylor has just started all the games. He goes out there and he plays since he was a rookie. Jalen Moore has never played a full season at all, you know? And so just saying it feels like grass is greener, but God, we paid him a lot of grass, like a lot of grass over there for him. And so I just don't like, I don't know what to do with it, man, because the penalties are so frustrating and you know, he's going to get beat once or twice a game. And so it's like, because 74 is out there, I'm saying we're going to have 4 or 5 bad plays come from his side of the field. And I don't want to do that. Like they talk about like what negative plays do to your football team. And it's like, you know, Jawan Taylor and Josh Williams going back and forth on who can do the dumbest thing every week.
Karloftis trying to enter that little group chat too. He's trying to get in there. Like, hey, maybe I can get a few flags here. Maybe throw me in here. And we kind of talked about the timeline last week. We were kind of talking about Matt Nagy and kind of like, so they lose Tyreek Hill. They're still an elite offense in 2022. But then they get to 2023, and that's when the wheels kind of fall off the offense. That's when you see the big dip. So it's not like with losing Tyreek Hill did it. So what kind of changed from 21 to 22 to 23 kind of thing? Jawan Taylor did come in 2023, and Mahomes hasn't quite looked as confident in his offensive line since around that time. So maybe you can kind of point a finger to him. I don't know if he's solo to blame for that. I mean, we're kind of blaming the left tackle more than anything last season. Because we kind of thought, I think down the stretch of last season, we were kind of coming around on Jawan Taylor. Like the penalties were down a little bit. He was shutting down a few guys. Like I think TJ Watt late in the season. There was another guy who was just like, he was putting forth good efforts toward down the stretch last season. It's just, so those thoughts kind of come in. If you ask me this in the middle of a game, it's 1,000,000%. It's 1,000,000% he's got to go. Because it's just every time I see a penalty, 1,000,000%. Get him out of here. But then the week kind of cools down and you kind of think about it and you think about the good times kind of thing. I'm still on 100% with that.
Yeah, cooler heads prevail when you are not in the moment. But boy, you hit that you hit the nail on the head because God, like when it's happening, you give me that 3rd and 4 holding penalty on Jawan Taylor that negates the 38-yard pass down the field. And my God, I am ready to punt him off a bridge.
Give me like a screenshot of the timeline on Twitter of everybody's tweets in that like 90 seconds. And it's just like the most outrage you've ever seen.
Well, prepare to get outraged, guys, because we're going to take a 90-second plus break here, right?
What's up, everybody? Benny Heiss with KCSN, betting analyst for Kansas City Sports Network. And Missouri, get ready. The wait is almost over because DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State. And guess what? You can get started today because new Missouri customers can get $300 in bonus bets once DraftKings Sportsbook launches on December 1st. You can download it now, place a $5 bet once they are live. Guys, DK Sportsbook brings everything you need to really elevate your game day. You got live in-game betting, super fast payouts, endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. And when they are live in Missouri, you're going to be betting with the Sportsbook app trusted by millions. It is safe, secure, fast money withdrawals. That's the place you want to play. So here's what you do. You download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the code KCSN to grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when DraftKings Sportsbook goes live on December 1st. That is code KCSN in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Remember, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. You must be 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after they're issued. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms are available at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
My name is Terrell Jolly. A lot of people call me TJ, founder and CEO of Integrity Capital Management. So Integrity Capital Management originally started out as a property management firm, but we slowly transitioned into what is described as an incremental development firm that's focused on situational housing. I know most people say affordable, but we believe in creating housing for people that are actually in need and built to the end user. I believe everyone needs a home because when you have home, you have hope. The reality is that when you're building a business, one thing you don't think about is like what a true banking relationship means. And, I had the honor and privilege of meeting Debbie early on in my career when I was just trying to get going. And as a small business, it's really challenging at times because people don't understand the concept or not believe the longevity because you're just getting started. But Debbie was willing to take a chance on me, be patient with me. I almost look at it like a grassroots initiative. She's seen and believe what I'm about. Anybody that's really true about their business and want to get some things done, I would definitely trust hands down Emprise because Deb's team, along with Aaron and Jackie and all the amazing people that work behind the scenes, even from the treasury side, I would say, hey, give them an opportunity because you won't be disappointed and you will actually be in hands that actually somebody care and that will see you from start to finish.
Calling all Chiefs fans. This is a Chiefs show. You're Chiefs fans. You guys want to be on the field at the 50? Well, listen, GEHA Field got the official coin toss at Chiefs home games this season. And if you visit chiefs.com/GEHA now, right now, you can enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pregame coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at chiefs.com/GEHA. And of course, GEHA is a proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, look, his Dirkness. Here we are.
Are we on the field? Are we on the 50?
We're on the field.
Am I in at right tackle?
We're coin toss captains. Next 100%.
Okay.
Or 1,000,000%.
All right, let's go.
Tyquan Thornton.
Ooh.
What a fun game. All right. What a fun game from Tyquan Thornton. I think a lot of talk about what this offense will look like when a Xavier Worthy gets back and when a Rashee Rice gets back. But ultimately, whether it is then or now, I think I'm positioning Tyquan Thornton over Hollywood Brown. You feeling 100% on that or 1,000,000%, Dirk?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Now, I think there is room for both. I think there's room for Juju in there, too. So I'm not giving up on this. I think Hollywood's getting a little bit of a bad rap because he's we don't really know what we got there. But he is putting up some numbers. Like, he's on pace for like about 1,000 yards. He actually has the exact same number of receiving yards as Tyquan Thornton right now. Tyquan Thornton, excuse me. Tyquan Thornton, the new Tyquan. But yeah, I mean, I just think about like this, training camp kind of thing. Every single day, I'm kind of waking up. I'm reading about what happened in practice. in the morning, and every single day it's Tyquan Thornton making a play, and I'm just like, man, this dude's really kind of showing up. And that's why in our season preview I kind of picked him as my fringe roster guy. I think he had kind of progressed past that by the time we did the show. But I was hopeful about Tyquan Thornton. Like, he would get his opportunities. He's a talented dude. He's a second round pick. I thought there was a chance. And there's also there's a chemistry between quarterback and receivers that just kind of develops sometimes, and they're kind of weird. It's not like a 1-for-1. Like, Dwayne Bowe put up incredible numbers with Matt Castle as his quarterback, and then Alex Smith showed up and he didn't put up any numbers at all, even though he's, he was still in his prime. It's just like he's not clicking with Alex Smith here, really. It was kind of like Tony Romo and Des Bryant were like a huge thing, and then Dak Prescott showed up, and Dak was great, but he couldn't ever click with Des Bryant. Like, there's just kind of sometimes chemistry between a quarterback and a receiver, and I'm kind of feeling the chemistry between Mahomes and Tyquan Thornton right now, at least more so than I am with Hollywood Brown.
Well, and look, Mahomes and Tyquan. I don't know where you come up with some of this stuff. I think we are seeing they're still not on the same page entirely. Like, he had a really rough throw against the Eagles, and then he missed him in this one too.
Yeah, it was kind of like a fake screen almost, and Mahomes kind of threw it deep. It would have been a touchdown if they connected, but Mahomes kind of threw it early. Tough to say what happened, but yeah, I guess that would be kind of a chemistry thing, you could say.
I mean, our producer Nick says
firing off takes
that he sucks. That's what happened. He sucks at throwing the deep ball, and honestly, I don't disagree, man. He's really struggling with it. I will say this: the back-to-back grabs after the incomplete touchdown. I didn't see a replay. I think that's bullshit. He caught that. That was a touchdown. But like those back-to-back catches, they do it, they call it incomplete, and then Mahomes just goes right back to him and he catches the next one. That's like one of my lasting memories from the game.
Oh yeah.
That was just such a cool sequence. And this like defiant kind of ball don't lie type of way. Just loved seeing them being able to connect on that. And look, I don't know if that 2-play sequence is actually going to mean something going forward, but he is without question our best skill position player on offense right now. There's no other receiver or tight end or running back that I would rather see us be funneling the ball to. It's Tyquan Thornton. And like, that is a weird thing. He was on the practice squad last year. Thornton was on the team for a good portion of the season. And they, I think kind of slowly were realizing he's not just fast.
He couldn't climb that depth chart last year with all those great receivers we had.
Exactly, right? Thank God we got Justin Ross out of here and really, opened up that pathway.
Justin Watson. Too many Justins in the way. Get these Justins out of here.
Just in time, they're gone.
Well,
and now we're looking at Tyquan Thornton. And listen, man, he's got a lot of runway before Worthy is at full speed, full strength, and same thing for Rasheed. And I mean, it could just be a matter of that, regardless of what things look like. And if we get to see, God, we've been talking about wanting to see all three of them for so long that I don't even want to see all three of them anymore. I want to see Tyquan Thornton instead of Hollywood. Like, I could care less if they ever play all three of them together anymore, because I feel like I have a better player. But does that mean that Hollywood's not useful? Just because I'm 1,000,000% too. Like, Tyquan Thornton has gone above Hollywood Brown in the pecking order for me without question, 1,000,000%. But are we just casting Hollywood aside? Does he have a role to play still this year?
No, I would still use him. I still use him. They just got to keep working on it. I mean, they've only played, 5 career games now together, basically. So it's not a whole lot of time here between Mahomes and Hollywood, but he's still producing. I mean, he's if he was 1,000-yard receiver, I mean, you would be like, okay, yeah, we'll take that. So I mean, it's kind of looked ugly at times, but it's still there. But it needs to be said that the Chiefs are actually throwing the ball down the field now a lot more than they ever did last year. And that's important because it's going to start to open up other things. Once teams start to respect that more and more, and they see the Tyquans, they're actually throwing it to him. He's actually making plays downfield. Okay, now that enters the defensive coordinator's mind, and that kind of changes things, and that opens up things underneath where I think that's where the Chiefs would prefer to operate. But they kind of have to show this deep stuff first to eventually open it up underneath. Otherwise, you get this ugly shit that defense is just all over because they don't respect the deep game, and they can just tee off on everything underneath. So I think it is important what they're doing right now, and that we're seeing at least some success in that regard. And I think that will help them greatly throughout the season.
And don't be like me, and when you hear that point from Dirk, start thinking about the run game, because the Chiefs already face like the highest number of light boxes in the league or whatever. Like they have problems at running back that go beyond any of the other things that are happening with this offense. It is going to make a big impact on the short and intermediate throws if you are consistently attempting and somewhat consistently completing these deep passes, right? Like they're never going to be the best downfield passing team in the league. I mean, I guess maybe we do have Tyquan Thornton now. And when Xavier Worthy comes back, we're talking about two pretty elite deep threats. So, I mean, it's possible, but I do like your point there that the more they're able to do that, the easier the stuff that they actually really want to do is going to be. And then suddenly, Taylor's boyfriend's going to be looking like an all-pro again because nobody's covering him. I wanted to actually talk about tight end a little bit. I am starting to think, and I mean, maybe this was obvious to people before now, but it feels pretty obvious to me that they need to rotate these tight ends more. That Travis is not the 90% snaps guy that they used him as last year. And frankly, I think that they need to be integrating like a little bit more Noah Gray. I feel like we've hardly seen any Big Bob after the preseason. And so, Dirk, I take it to you, 100% or 1,000,000%. We need to see more Noah Gray and Big Bob and a little bit less Travis Kelce in order to get there. 100%. Or 1,000,000%.
I go 100%. I go 100%. I'm looking. Noah Gray played 68% of the snaps. I'm kind of shocked by that. Noah Gray hasn't done much this year. Like it seems like he would be a candidate to like really take a step forward. I mean, I guess you could say he's not getting the targets, but I need to see more from Noah Gray if we're going to be thrusting. He did get the little Travis Kelce route this week. That was nice. I think Gray has some talent. I think he could do some things. Is Jared Wiley? Is he around? He's on the roster, but getting inactive every week.
He was inactive this week, so they do have all four of those tight ends. Honestly, Andy hasn't really used them yet. I don't know if he's like stashing it or what, but like Noah Gray getting all those snaps tells me that was easily probably the most that he's had in the first 3 games this year. But I just don't see like we're missing our top 2 receivers. I mean, he kept 8 though. I want to be like, you're short on receivers. Use the tight ends that you kept, but we still have plenty of receivers in reserve because of that roster construction this year. Okay, so 100%. What you're thinking? Like
on the tight ends?
Yeah,
100%. 100%. I didn't watch much of the preseason, which I think everybody fell in love with Tanyan. I don't get preseason games, so I didn't fall in love with Tanyan. I saw a Wiley highlight and I was like, ooh, I like that. So I was kind of like, he was almost going to be my fringe roster guy. Like, I think Noah Wiley could do some things, but
Noah Wiley is an actor.
Noah Wiley?
Jared Wiley is the guy that you want to do some things on the football field. Yeah. Is who Noah Wiley? Is he the ER guy? I can't remember what he did.
Is that
maybe something like that? He's one of those actors. All right, another offensive one, 100% or 1,000,000%. Is Juju a reliable option? Like
reliable?
So, like last night, the way they started out, Juju had 53 yards at one point when the rest of the team had 53 yards. Like he was literally half the offense in the first half. And we went to this last year and 2 years ago and 3 years ago. Like Juju Not, was it 2 years ago he was in New England or whatever? But like, look, Juju, he clearly can run some routes in this offense and take some physical punishment in this offense and dole out some physical punishment in this offense that a lot of other receivers are not equipped to handle. But it also feels like he only has about 150 snaps in his body each year before he's got to go back down to like 5 a game instead of getting to play full time. And so mostly I think I'm just asking, can Juju 100% or 1,000,000% survive the next 3 games before Rashee comes back? But are you looking at Juju as a reliable, like, kind of volume target for this team until Rashee, or I guess potentially Xavier Worthy, can take the field again? Does he get like a funnel of volume targets in this offense over the next 3 weeks that we're at with Juju?
Well, don't change the wording on me, because if you're saying if you're asking if he's reliable, it's 1,000,000%, because he is old reliable. Even though Juju Smith-Schuster is only 28 years old and deserves to be reminded that he's the same age as A.J. Brown, Michael Pittman Jr., DJ Moore, Hollywood Brown, all these receivers that nobody considers old. He is the same age as them. He is a extremely old 28, old enough to be called old reliable. I will trust him in a pinch. I think Mahomes probably trusts him more than any other receiver right now. That might even include Rashee Rice. Like he's always kind of clicked with Juju. So I calling him reliable, absolutely. Calling him a weapon, I don't know about that, because I think it does kind of slog the offense. He's just doesn't have enough speed, I guess, to open up other things. So once you have, Travis Kelce at 36, Juju kind of moving slow, other things, then that's when the offense kind of starts to come forward, and it's kind of you start to see ugly things. But I think Juju is to be trusted, and I think he'll kind of do like the dirty things. Like I trust him like blocking, maybe kind of come in and do those things, sit like picks kind of thing. I really enjoyed the Chiefs video they put out of him. He was mic'd up during the game, and it's just him yelling basically the entire time. You can tell
I haven't watched it. I can't wait.
It's just like a 90-second clip of him yelling over and over, and that's basically his mic'd up. But you can tell he's really into the game, really into the team, all about winning. So I will stand for Juju, and I think he has a place on this team. And that might, and once everybody's back, that might just be kind of a placeholder for if somebody else gets hurt kind of thing, and that's fine. But if he has to come in, I'll trust him in a pinch.
Just a reminder for anybody that is skeptical about his Dirkness's 1,000,000% endorsement of Juju. Ye of little faith and of short memory, or perhaps a little short-term memory loss, doing one too many deep dives.
Never.
I need you guys to remember, Andy Reid said unequivocally Juju is the leader in that receiver room.
Oh, yeah.
Like people look to Juju, they ask him questions. And if he is able to put the phone down long enough to do a little teaching, he's got a lot that he can't share with these guys. I'm obviously joking. He's the TikTok.
Is he still doing the TikTok?
I'm not sure. I hope that weird Super Bowl thing that he did that was like a kung fu stealing something weird stage, that was like the worst video I've ever seen in my life.
But speaking of his leadership, I mean, think of the year that he wasn't here, 2023. The start of that season was a complete disaster among the receivers. And there was clearly no leadership in that room. So I will totally welcome that point.
Mm-hmm. Next on the list, Dirk, of the things that I think coming out of this Giants game, 100% or 1,000,000%, Harrison Butker ain't right.
Ain't right. I'll go 1,000,000%. Can I say 1,000,000% and still say that if there's a big kick to be made on Sunday, I'll trust him 100%, or 1,000,000%? I'll trust him 1,000,000%. But he's not right 1,000,000%. Like even his made kicks in this game. I mean, the first one was a doink. Mm-hmm. There was another one that was just like trailing left as soon as he kicked it, and they were like, he kicks it with a natural draw. They said that on the broadcast, and I was like, does he? Like, I don't remember his kicks kind of coming out like sideways like that and really turning like that much. His stats weren't great last year. He was great in 2023. I kind of checked this out. But he's still as clutch as any kicker that I've ever had on my team. And so if we're facing a big kick in a big game like Sunday versus the Ravens or in a playoff game later this year, I will still trust the man 100%.
So he did a million percent. he did doink one. You are correct in this Giants game.
I think there's 4 ugly kicks. There's 2 misses. There was a doink and then one that just really drew left hard.
And look, guys, I don't know if you've been keeping track at home. He has 4 misses in 3 games. That dude's missed 4 kicks already this year. 2 extra points, a 58-yarder against the Eagles that was just not even close. So far wide right that it was almost comical.
But then, at the same time, he kicks a 59-yarder in a fire drill without the cable out there, which makes it harder to kick. So then you have that at the same time. So it's just like,
and this is like, it's uncharacteristic that the Chiefs are working out all of these issues early in a season because they just, under Andy Reid, have historically come out sharper than other teams, getting off to a fast start, getting a couple games under your belt of a lead on the rest of the AFC. And they're not, obviously that's not how this year has worked out. And they've got kind of an uphill battle as far as the seeding stuff is concerned early in this season. But I don't know, man. I'm looking at Butker and 4 misses in 3 games, a doink in there for good measure. And hey, I know he's a kicker, but he's on the wrong side of 30 now, Dirk. It's a 30-year-old Harrison Butker.
Man, I watched
tinkering with the style and stuff. Is he on a knee? Is he not on a knee?
Yeah, I never
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I watched Morton Anderson do this at like 62 years old, so I still think Butker has some good.
My joke didn't land. Huh? Yes. Wrong side of 30 for a kicker. Obviously, I'm
gotcha.
Try to be sarcastic.
I get it. I saw someone say like he hasn't been the same since the injury, which I believe was 2022, and that's his down year. The next season, he goes 33 of 35 in field goals and does not miss an extra point all season. So I would not say that he hasn't been right because 2023 he was dominant.
Yeah.
So last year kind of had a down year. This year obviously down a little bit so far this year. But
is he still, with some of these misses and stuff, is he still the most accurate kicker of all time or whatever that was?
It's always just like some new guy. Like the most accurate kicker was like not even employed. It was some.
I thought there was like a threshold number of kicks or something.
Oh yeah, Nick's right. I think Dicker the kicker is the most accurate right now. An understudy,
former chief
of one Harrison Butker.
Yeah, I've listened to Tube a little bit in some of these pressers, and he said, "I think there's a half dozen kickers that have a stronger leg than Harrison now, and all of them are these young guys coming out of college." And so like I'm gonna wonder. Did they just give him a contract this off season, like an extension? I don't think he was in an extension this year. But he's got a year or 2 maybe left on that deal, and they're going to let him go once that's done. I don't think he's going to get another contract from the team because you've got the best special teams coach in the league saying these young guys can do what this guy can't. And I think eventually they're gonna step away from the amount of money that they're paying him. It's bad money generally speaking. I am 1,000,000% with you. There is something that's not quite right there. I don't know if it's just early season, tinkering, whatever. I'm not at 1,000,000% trusting him in those moments. I think I'm looking at, I'm a little, we haven't seen him miss a, big pressure kick yet, but I don't know. He's got me thinking a little too much right now. 100% or 1,000,000%. The pass rush is fixed, Dirk. They sacked the quarterback on Sunday.
Fixed. I will go 0%.
Those 2 sacks on Sunday didn't do it for you?
It was good to see some flashes from George. I'm still scarred from seeing the PFF grades flash across the screen at the start of the game. And I didn't even know there were that many defensive linemen in the NFL. I didn't know you could rank that low. Like, what? We're just making up numbers. He's like below like ball boys and some mascots.
It was Amenahu was 114 out of 114. Is that right?
Dead last. And then Noddy was like 117 out of 120 or something. George was way down there. Chris Jones was okay, but it's good to see Karlaftis do his thing. I think the most promising thing is Omar Norman Lott. He had some flashes, I think. He's kind of a new guy that can come in and provide some juice. Like you need some young guys. You need some young, hungry defensive linemen. You do not want fat and happy paid guys. So that is definitely still on the list of worries for me. And no, I do not think it was fixed from this game. No, I need to see more.
I'm intrigued by Taz. I'm calling him Taz.
He was, I like it. Gelati Dottie, we like to potty. But he was getting some snaps with the like third down defense out there. Like he was in the
NASCAR package.
Yeah. I think they were sliding Ominahu inside. And he was kind of lining up at defensive end. So that was good to see.
Yeah. And I mean, he's playing on both run and pass downs. He's playing early in the game. He's playing late in the game. He's playing on early downs. He's playing on late downs. They're using him a little bit of everywhere. It's not, 70% of the snaps or anything at this point. But I think they're almost trying to find where are the best spots to use you. I mean, it's not like they knew on day one that Leo Chenal was going to be able to play defensive tackle for them occasionally with some of these reps. And so I think they're tinkering around, seeing what they've got with him. But you mentioned like needing the young guys. I think that Norman Lott and Taz are both like really important parts of that defense if we're going to get where we want to go at the end of the year. If they don't develop throughout this season, then the defense isn't going to be good enough to win in January, I think. We don't
remember the stat of they have to rank top 11 in sacks and they win a Super Bowl. It's that simple. Which I think they have a decent number of sacks this year, actually. They have more sacks than like how good the pass rushes looked. I'll say that. Because like Tranquil had 2 in that first game. They've actually kind of gotten some, but he needs to do better.
Russell Wilson threw really more than 2 interceptions, but we caught 2 interceptions on Sunday night. 100% or 1,000,000%. The turnovers are fixed. We fixed it. We're back. We're turning them over, baby.
Fixed the turnovers. I'll say 100%. We need it. It's been a long time since the Chiefs defensive backs are making plays back there. So that was extremely refreshing to see. I highlighted Watson's early on. That's just a play we're not used to seeing from Chiefs corners. Like I think they're really sticky in their coverage, but we're used to them misplaying balls and then not being able to catch balls that hit their hands kind of thing. So that was refreshing. And then just a stat that blew my mind that I saw earlier today. Since the start of 2022, the Chiefs are -7 in turnover differential. In 3 years that they've won 2 Super Bowls, gone to another Super Bowl and lost, and now these 3 games this year, they are -7 in turnover differential, which just seems impossible. It's impossible. And then I was reminded, I was looking on Twitter for some more things, and I saw this old tweet from Scott Kazmir. Fewest takeaways in the regular season for a Super Bowl champion of all time. Number 1 is the 2023 Chiefs. Number 2 is the 2022 Chiefs. Number 3 is the 2019 Chiefs. They have the 3 teams that have won the Super Bowl with the fewest turnovers forced in the season. Now, I think turnovers are just kind of down in general now because, average depth of targets going down. It's a short passing kind of league. Mistakes are being minimized kind of thing. But that's still an unbelievable stat that the Chiefs haven't been good at forcing turnovers since Bob Sutton and Dee Ford were around. Like, I think we were forced turnovers at that point, but like since Spags has gotten here, we've had a good pass rush, but I don't think we've ever been towards the top of the league in terms of forcing turnovers.
Man, I want to repeat this for you guys. The 3 Super Bowl teams with the fewest number of forced turnovers in NFL history are all your Kansas City Chiefs. And none of them were in 1969. That's crazy. Okay. Chris Roland Wallace at safety.
Oh,
100% or 1,000,000%. Chris Roland Wallace getting a little pick in this game, playing deep safety.
And he got hit because Cook got hurt. Is that right?
I think they were just rotating him in. He's playing safety right now.
I thought a safety kind of got banged up at some point.
Cook did get so like they had that weird play with he and Neighbors that I thought should have been the third interception that
the next,
threw. Yeah. And they both went and sat for a minute, but they both came back to the game. I think that was it though, in terms of like, but it wasn't like he didn't like make that interception while it happened before that. Roland Wallace is just fully rotating in at safety right now.
So if the question is Roland Wallace at safety instead of slot cornerback, 1,000,000,000%.
Okay.
Because, we shit on this guy quite a bit. We shit on Murray Connor quite a bit. Almost sort of that nickname back. But it's because of the role that they were thrust into that they were not prepared to handle. That neither of them can play the slot position one-on-one in man coverage. Neither of them can do it. They were both asked to do it well throughout last year and at the start of this year for Chard Murray. But now we're seeing finally that the Spags is figuring it out. Slide McDuffie down into that slot. I'm not sure what else they were doing necessarily, but I never really saw him, Chamari, down there in the slot in man-to-man on third downs or anything. So I think they were kind of changing that. They're getting Noel Williams out there on the outside. So I think Spags is figuring out how to use these pieces, and neither of them are built for that position. And if Roland Wallace is going to become a good safety, I'm all down for that. I've said for years that the third safety position is kind of the best position in sports because it seems like the Chiefs' third safety always kind of thrives. And so if he can slide into that role, I think it's good. It's good. Although he'd be like the fourth safety, wouldn't he? I guess technically.
I think that's probably what they're looking at.
I'm kind of going like
intrigued.
It's like a big dime where they're kind of bringing in four safeties and moonlighting as corners kind of thing. So that kind of pushes them into the slot probably a little bit, but keep him at safety.
I'm intrigued by just having this undrafted guy that I don't really know a whole lot about out here making plays. That's exciting to me to feel like, hey, Veach has still got it. He's plucking these dudes out of nowhere, and Spags is like, this is a developing talent situation too. Like Roland Wallace brought along slowly last year, got snaps here and there. Now we're looking at maybe a new position. Like they're trying to work this dude in because there's something that they see in him. And I couldn't tell you exactly what that is, but I like that he's out here and he's making some plays. I've got two more for you, Dirk. One of them is about the Chiefs and one of them is just silly. 100% or 1,000,000%. The Chiefs don't even need Christian Fulton.
Don't even need Christian Fulton. A Noel Williams take is what you're cooking in here. The top graded cornerback on PFF right now, even though it's probably like 6 coverage snaps kind of thing. Don't need Christian Fulton. I'll go with 100%. I haven't seen Christian Fulton really play.
That's my point.
What I have seen, I've been impressed by. Yeah. Some of it was against like backups in like the last preseason game, I want to say. So I was excited about the signing. They spent real money on the signing, so I think they believe in him. But I'm also just props to them for figuring out the cornerback position, even if that means thrusting Noel Williams into the outside cornerback position to push Trent into the slot. I'm applauding that 1,000,000%. And if Noel Williams continues to thrive, keep playing him. Having too many corners is a great problem to have. But I do think, maybe the shine will come off Noel Williams a little bit, and you might want to see Fulton in there. So I'll stick with 100%.
I'm starting to believe that Veach decided that left tackle and corner were two things that he just couldn't keep dealing with these issues. And so draft one, sign one at both spots. And the combination of Fulton and Noel Williams, who are both very, very firmly, clearly outside corners, it basically, I think, allowed Spags to say, all right, I'm not going to put Joshua Williams out there at outside corner anymore. Ultimately, I'm almost surprised that Joshua Williams made the team. I felt like maybe leading up to it, people were talking about like an injury or something that maybe caused Joshua Williams to get pushed up. And I'm not sure. At any rate, I guess it is kind of a Noel Williams point, because while he is grabby, he is a very, very physical player that is clearly physical enough as a rookie to hang in this league. He's the type of guy with the style of play. This is a lofty take, but I think it's true. If you get a repeat of the Super Bowl and it's the Chiefs and Eagles, you want to know who's going to be covering AJ Brown? It's Noel Williams. Like he's that guy. He is what, like that. I think, to me, the physicality of that player, his build, his instincts, everything, like Noel Williams screams, give me your number one receiver. And I know that he's not, whatever the top 20 pick and got all the pedigree and stuff, but he forced more turnovers than anybody in college football. And he's got all the size and everything to be able to stick with those guys. He's got the speed. He's got the movement. That is a really exciting prospect on the defensive side of the ball. He needs to learn how to play the football a little bit better. he looks like he's playing his third football game out there.
He's in good company when it comes to that. So, but yeah, 7 interceptions last year in college, was an All-American. So that's desperately needed. And also being a cornerback that's drafted by Brett Veach that's a good position to be in. If those they've pretty much all thrived. So whether it's mid, late, or early in the draft, they've all kind of come through. So
100% or 1,000,000% on Cam Scatterbo.
Cam Scatterbo, 1,000,000%.
Technically, boo.
Scatterbo.
That's what they say. I don't know.
Scatterbo.
He would have to be the one to say Scatterbo, and even then, I'd be like, for real.
I'll say 1,000,000% that he's on the Madden cover in 2028 because he is Peyton Hillis 2.0. He is going to have a peak that we are all impressed by. Like, wow, Scatterbo is here. And then he's going to fall off because his body is going to break down because he just slams his body to people for a living. And his body's going to break down by the time he's 25 and a half.
I'm 1,000,000% on Scatterbo. Like, that is my platonic ideal running back. Like, he can run and catch. He's short but stocky. He's small but powerful. Like everything about him is just really fun. He bouncing off of people. Like, he's great. He is a really, really fun guy to watch.
He desperately needs Berman at all times. Just Berman making the sounds.
Of course. But he's also a white running back. Like, keep it up. These are fun. And I heard somebody say, I've been trying to come up with the Cam Scatterbo comp, and I think it's somewhere between regular old Peyton Hillis and Peyton Hillis's best ceiling. Like, his scale is just different versions of Peyton Hillis.
Man, that 2012 preseason Peyton Hillis, that might have been his peak when he came out in that one drive with the Chiefs. Woo, boy.
Yeah, Scatterbo was fun. We've got sports nuts that we're going to do. Do you want to talk any Chiefs Ravens before we sports nuts? We did a little bit at the top, but I think a lot of people are looking at this game. I don't know if we need to get.
I mean, this is my type of game early in the season. I mean, if you're talking 2-3-0 teams, who really cares? Like, they'll probably run into each other again in the playoffs. Like, these are two teams. Whoever loses, you kind of look at those future games, what's coming up, and the Chiefs have the Lions in a couple games, who just put it on the Ravens. They got the Jags, who could easily be 3-0 right now. They haven't looked the best, but you're still going to Jacksonville early in the season when it could be hot. And they're definitely capable team. They're better than the Giants. And then early in the season, like the schedule just keeps staying hard. So whoever loses, you're just kind of on watch of if they can keep themselves afloat throughout the season and make it to the tournament. And whoever loses definitely going to be in a tough spot. Not going to be looking at home field advantage. I don't think anyone's catching the Bills in the AFC this year. They have too easy of a schedule, too easy of a division. And already with the win over Baltimore, already a 2-game lead on both the Ravens and the Chiefs. They seem destined for that 1 seed. So who you're looking at?
You think the Chargers? Is that right?
No, the Bills.
Okay. All right. I was like, wait a minute.
No, I don't think the Chargers can keep pace.
Destined for the 1 seed? Okay.
We'll see if they can stay around. But the Bills, I think, will be definitely going for that 1 seed, which means you're looking at if things play out the kind of the way we think, you're looking at Chiefs and Ravens having to play in that semifinal and then play the Bills in the AFC Championship kind of thing, like they avoided last year when the Bills and Ravens had to play in the semifinal and the winner got to play the Chiefs. So that was a good position for the Chiefs to be in last year. They might not be in that position this year because of the hole they're already in. And if they lose this one, they definitely will not be in the home field, advantage chase for the AFC.
I think this Chiefs-Ravens game is really fascinating. Baltimore has like all the style you could ask for, whether it's the talent that they have or the uniforms or really just like the way that they're talked about. Like Baltimore is beloved. People love that Ravens team. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are so boring that numerous national voices are like completely jumping ship. I don't even want to watch them anymore, is what they're saying, because of the way that they play. And like, they say styles make fights, and like these two teams could not be more different. The Chiefs want to throw the ball, but they can't score. And the Ravens run the ball up and down the field and they score as much as anybody. There's just a lot about the two teams and how contrasting they are. And also the history that goes along with it. Like you mentioned the Chiefs and Ravens, like normally you're talking about 2 3-0 teams instead of 2 teams that are 1-2. And if that were the case, if the Chiefs and Ravens were 3-0, I would pick the Chiefs to win, but I'd be like, this is the game that they lose. Andy's not going to put anything out there. He says, we're going to play the Ravens again in the playoffs. Who cares? Like, we'll play them tight, but I'm not going to show you anything really. And I'm sitting here with both of these teams 1-2, and the Chiefs still having a lot of tough games ahead of them. And I'm like, if you have any hope for the 1 seed, this is a must win. I don't think you can drop another AFC game right now. It would be real tough. Hey, it's a big important game this early in the season, and that's good for this team to be able to get these benchmarks. Like, I think it's going to tell us a lot about both teams and where they're at right now, for sure.
And it's a great point, because I think typically in these games, like Andy's not going to want to show everything. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of, they're in such a tricky position, because if they lose their division, then they're looking at 3 road playoff games, which they've done 2 before. They have not done all 3 road playoff games. So it's a tough spot. And it's also weird because, the Bills beat us in the regular season every time. The Ravens aren't doing that. They haven't beat us since, I want to say 2021, on the Clyde fumble late in the game, which is a game that we should have won that one too. Clyde just holds on to the ball. Yeah. So it's not like a trade-off like the Chiefs and Bills where they were in the regular season, we win the playoffs kind of thing. Like, we just have the Ravens number for the last 4 or 5 years now. And so that'll be something to watch. Also, a weird stat, the Chiefs we do all this praising of Patrick Mahomes as an underdog. We're actually winless as home underdogs with Patrick Mahomes at this point. We are, which is only 2 games, but we are 0-2 as home dogs with Patrick Mahomes. Kind of weird stat. We might be next. Our next home game is Detroit. There's a chance. If we drop this one and Detroit keeps looking good, we might be underdogs in that game too. A weird spot to be.
Last word on the Ravens comes courtesy of our good friend Nick Wright. The Chiefs, with Patrick, have won 3 of the 5 last Super Bowls, been to 3 in a row, and been to 7 straight AFC Championship games. They started 1-2, and the national conversation has largely been that they're broken and that their era has ended. The Ravens with Lamar have 0 Super Bowls. They've been to 0 Super Bowls. They've only been to 1 AFC Championship game, and they've also started 1-2. And Nick was really excited to see what the conversation around the Ravens would be today. I can't imagine it was that bad. I can't imagine they need to fire Todd Monken or they need to completely revamp their offense. Maybe it was.
There is some Harbaugh. There is some Harbaugh distaste out there.
Some Harbaugh chatter.
You got to blame someone.
He's been there for a long time, and they're not getting it done. The ultimate getting it done. So that's tough. Yeah, he's almost in the like not as long, but like a Tomlin position where it's like, we get it. You can make the playoffs every year, but we need more than that sort of thing.
Or McDermott, really.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of guys.
Yeah, everyone's kind of on hold until the Chiefs release this hold over the AFC.
Yeah. Let's do sports nuts, huh?
Sports nuts.
Sports nut, huh?
Sports nuts. I'll go. Saturday was I'm a man. I'm 40th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
RIP to 2026 Chiefs offensive coordinator Mike Gundy, who was fired today. He didn't die. He just got fired. So I had some people over, but my California friends, they're kind of like casual football fans. So I don't like watching Chiefs games with them for obvious reasons, and
that's why we
talk football. We kind of talk football, but it's a different culture. It's not like no one's really diehards. Everyone's fans of different teams, kind of thing. Like if I was watching like a game in Kansas City with my guys, I mean things are gonna get rowdy. And so Saturday just happens to be the biggest Nebraska game of the last 10 years, right during the time of having people over, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. So I'm watching it. I'm behaving myself. Just watching it. I'm cheering, but I'm keeping it to myself. I'm staying cool. But then it perfectly timed because we're gonna eat at halftime of that game, and so I haven't eaten anything. I've had about 3 beers probably at this point. So it's the cheap drunk, feeling a little bit. And Nebraska completes a Hail Mary, and I can't hold it in at that point. And so I start screaming and hooting and hollering. And the crowd is not quite ready for it because they're like, what the hell is going on? I hear Nick screaming, or Dirk screaming in there. Like, what the hell is going on? And people are confused. People are asking me what happened. And it was tough to explain, like, well, it was a Hail Mary. You just don't really see a Hail Mary completed very often. In a big game, tied it up. So I know this was not Chiefs related, but that was my sports nuts moment of the week, where I kind of was trying to keep it under wraps, and it could not survive a completed Hail Mary. That broke the wraps I was under.
It's fantastic. This is why we don't normally go out in public. But you invited them all over. I am not at all surprised to learn that all of your California friends are California casual sports fans. Like, shocker, none of them are big time diehards, right? Hey, it's really nice out there if you haven't heard.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go to California,
I would sit here and watch this game, but beach, sun, activity, like
right. Right.
And they all think I'm weird. I'm like, nah, I can't come out on a Sunday. I can't leave the house.
I have plans, right? All right, so my sports nuts. Look. I don't want to draw from the same well as last week, but I'm kind of in that zip code a little bit because, sometimes I do everything I can to try to improve the juju around the team, not the juju on the team, the juju around the team. I do all the stupid stuff. I'm gonna set my microwave to 56 seconds because I love Derek Johnson, or literally, any tiny little thing that I can do. And sometimes, when you're leading up to the Super Bowl, it's like, bro, every weird superstition, all of them are happening all the time.
Absolutely.
But when the team is 0-2, part of me is like, maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I need to just kind of take a step back, right? Or maybe part of me is saying, you guys don't deserve all that right now. You're 0-2, right? And so, I'm getting up on Sunday and I'm planning what I'm going to wear to church. And I decided on Sunday that I was going to wear some neutral colors.
Oh, no.
I just wore a pair of khakis and a white shirt. I did not, try to do anything chiefy at all. And mostly I'm just I'm not going to push it. All right.
Are you usually decking out in Chiefs gear for church?
Yeah. During football season, the whole church is red. Right.
Really?
And so and I get there and everyone is in red. Right. including my daughter. My wife dressed her, and I think it's more of everyone's doing it, so we have to do it. So she puts Hazel in red. I come upstairs in my neutral colors. Oh, what the hell? What? Why did I dress her in the Chiefs? You're not even wearing the Chiefs stuff. I'm like, honey, just let it be. You know, I don't want to have to explain this to her that like I'm supporting the team right now by not wearing Chiefs stuff. I'm just, it's like I'm trying to thread that needle, right?
The wake up call.
I can't tell my wife that. So I think a lot of this is about kind of just being in tune with your team. Sometimes they need me and sometimes they don't. And I kind of felt like this Sunday that I needed to just take a step back. And I didn't even I put my Chiefs shirt on like 10 minutes before the game started. And, then I was locked in and I had a wonderful time, and the Chiefs ended up winning. I mean, I didn't have a wonderful first half, but I really think that you got to try to be in tune with your team, and that's where I felt like I was on Sunday, that they didn't need me, wearing my head to toe Zubas to church. They needed me to just like be at peace and say, you know what? It doesn't matter what I set the microwave to this week. The Chiefs are going to go in and they're going to beat the Giants. It's a business trip. I'm just going to leave it alone. And they took care of business. And I'm in tune with my team because I'm a sports nut.
I like it.
I did also,
however, a little kick in the keister.
Yeah. I did also, in all of these ways, trying to be in tune with my team and get them out of this rut. I sent that message with my neutral colors, but I also sent a message earlier in the week when on Wednesday I got the first like for real haircut I've had in quite a long time.
Oh,
so all that length and lusciousness is gone. Now, don't get me wrong, I still have some hair here, right? But I went from like halfway down my back to not on my neck at all. Huge haircut. And it was, I mean, some of it was like, it's time for me, but I also felt like this team needs a jolt.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm gonna cut this hair.
You really changed it up.
I just,
if they lose this week, I'm shaving my face. I'm coming in clean shaven.
Not with like just come down. Just,
clean shaven all the way off.
If they
People wouldn't even recognize me. It's I look like 12 years old.
Yeah, joining me today.
It's not pleasant.
One of my students.
Who the hell is that?
All right, folks. This has been another episode of Amateur Hour. I'm Ryan Scott Hall. He is his Dirkness. Are we going to win Sunday afternoon against the Ravens at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, United States of America?
I'm gonna say no. I think we lose.
You're gonna lose? Okay.
I think we lose.
Is this an ass kicking, or is it they're just? I think it's in the realm of possibility that the Chiefs could just get waxed here. Like if Baltimore has the bounce back game that they need. Because honestly, before the game got away from them, Baltimore looked good. When they looked good, they looked good. And that's a scary proposition. This game is really going to come down to what Chiefs team shows up and what Ravens team shows up, because I think both of them have a million different possibilities in them this season. I think it's going to be the Chiefs determining the way the game is played a lot this year.
You're going to slap it up.
It's going to look a lot like that Giants game. It's going to be these kind of, people keep calling it a rock fight, meaning, well, you can only really throw one rock at a time. And the accuracy is kind of off, and it's not that deadly a weapon. You're just kind of throwing rocks. And I think that's what this one might look like. I don't expect that their running game will get going the way that it does when the Ravens were really rolling, because the Chiefs are just
good this year.
Too
good. The running game has not been good.
Yeah. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be another ugly game that people say, I just don't want to watch the Chiefs. And I think
I love
it
that one.
Leads to a very, very slim, potentially even questionable victory that doesn't actually give anybody a whole lot of pleasure
Question like a bad call. Is that what
you know, just not I mean, bad call depends on who you're rooting for. But you know, I think it just might be a game that like the Chiefs win, but doesn't convince anybody of anything. Because that might be the kind of team that they are this year, that like they win, but they're not convincing anybody. That's kind of what they did last year, except for the fact that they just kept winning all of them. I don't know.
I don't think we've convinced anybody of anything in about 30 months. So
that's possible. Well, look, I don't know if they're going to win or not. I never know if they are. I'll tell you that they're going to win a lot, but I don't.
It's so hard to say early in the week. It's more of a when things are kicking off. That's when I get like a true feeling.
Yeah. I still gotta just kind of, you know, move and groove through this week. Go on our field trip. Do some of these other things. Get the mind right, ready for Sunday afternoon. I'm excited. Chiefs and Ravens at 3:25. They're going to be the marquee matchup that most American households are going to see. His Dirkness. Till next week, my friend. Let's hope these Chiefs win.
Slop them up.
Next time we talk to you guys, hoping these Chiefs are 2-2.